Good morning, everybody. Hope that you are doing well this morning. Yesterday was the shortest day of the year, which means they will only get longer and brighter up until June. But that means that the longest night is behind us, and now we can look forward to more and more sunshine. However, unfortunately, with the longest night just so close in the rearview mirror, that means that it is official. Winter has come. Now, as I look out my window, though, that we haven't really gotten any of the white stuff, knock on wood. I don't know if you heard that with the microphone, but so far, no snow. Which I only had a couple days where, yes, it did technically snow, but nothing with any kind of staying power, which I am perfectly fine with. Just a reminder then about our worship times. The coming Friday, so Christmas Eve, Stewart Memorial, 4:30 p.m., Brandon, 8 p.m. And you're welcome to attend whichever one of those services best fits in your plans or scheduling. This Sunday, all churches will, besides Mount Auburn, the other three will have their regular worship times. Brandon will be meeting in the basement. So don't want you going all the way up the stairs to the sanctuary and no one else is there. So you got to go all the way back down the stairs to the basement. So yes, so Brandon is still meeting at 10 a.m., but they're meeting in the basement. Garrison's still meeting at 8:15, I believe, in the sanctuary. And Stewart Memorial is also meeting at 6 p.m., their usual time. Starting then with the beginning of the new year, a little bit of mix up to the worship times. Garrison service will be moving from its morning to its afternoon time. So starting, I believe that would make it the second, I believe is the first Sunday in 2022. Garrison will move to the 4:30 p.m. worship time. Because, like I said, the official start of winter is here, which means that snowstorms and blizzards will be coming, and they always seem to come Saturday night. So moving it to the afternoon slot gives a little bit more time for plows to get out there and the roads to be in better condition. So that is at the 2nd of January. Garrison moves to 4:30. Just so you're aware, next week the devotions will take a little bit of rest. And then starting then with the first Monday of the new year, we'll be back with the regular devotions. I have no idea what I'm going to do. We might start out just reading from the devotional book like we normally do. And then I'll try to think of some crazy idea as we go from there. My class schedule next year is a little bit different. I'm going to try and actually, hopefully we have in-person classes because I'm going to register for the summer, which means we're going to have a very, 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 very busy summer. But hopefully that the pandemic has settled down, although who knows with things going as they are. But the only thing is that I have to wait till March to register for the summer classes, so I won't know until March. But we will play things. So next year, who knows what's going to happen next year. All sorts of crazy things can happen in a year. If the past couple years have taught us anything, it's that you never know what to expect. All right, well, on to the devotional. Today's devotional, we are looking at the hymn that many of us actually place last in our Christmas Eve services. We are looking at Silent Night. Originally titled Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht, which literally translates to Silent Night, Holy Night, this song was written by Father Joseph Moore in 1816, and the music composed by Franz Xaver Gruber 2 years later in 1818. The song was originally performed in a church in what is now present-day Austria, where Moore worked. Following the performance, the man who serviced the church's organ, Karl Moracher, was completely taken with the piece and took a composition back home with him to Tyrol, Austria. From there, it changed hands several times, being performed in many various places before making its way into the American zeitgeist in 1839. Some small changes were made to the melody around this time, giving life to the version we know and love today. And love it we do! The single recording by Bing Crosby in 1935 is the fourth best-selling single of all time at about 30 million copies sold. It's Christmas Eve. The fast-paced shuffle of this season is nearly behind us. Maybe you have a few more family gatherings to go to or another Christmas party to attend, but by now things are settling down and we're settling in with our families. In many traditions, this is the time families gather and read through the Luke chapter 2 narrative. Candlelight services are usually found in abundance. In many ways, we collectively unite as a single church to solemnly sing this very song. Although short, this song does a wonderful job of painting the scene of peace and serenity that follows Christ. In every verse, some reference is given to peace and calm and tenderness, and what a perfect time for a reminder like this. After everything that this season and even this year has brought us to, and though this is a perfect time to reflect on the peace that we have when we rest in Jesus, peace like that of Jesus in the storm, peace that in the midst of our darkest, most challenging moments stands up and says to our fears, silence, be still. Oh, that's the application. One of my favorite comedians is actually one I was exposed to because of my affiliation with the church. I was a sophomore in high school, back when that was the minimum age to serve as a page for the conference, back when the pages were called pages. Now they're called diakonos, back when we had conference in person. But I served for 3 years, which was the most you could at that time, as a page for the Iowa Annual Conference. And the pages, when conference, usually goes into session at about, I think it was 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that. The pages had to be at the hall there, the Coliseum, Hilton Coliseum, that's what it's called, Hilton Coliseum there, back when it was names. So many changes. At about 6:30, because back when conference did all of its stuff on paper, every day at the start of conference we had to pass out papers. You'd show up, each page had a section, and we'd be given like 4 or 5 stacks of these papers that we had to put on every chair in our section. This meant that we would have to get up early, eat early. We usually were, the old adage, you're the first ones in, the last ones out. We were usually the last ones to leave the conference. So we would all stay. We usually have one whole hall of the Maple Larch Willow dorms there by Hilton Coliseum, just for the pages. And actually, it was really fun. For a sophomore staying at a college dorm, for a sophomore in high school, staying at a college dorm with a bunch of other students, it was kind of that first taste of dorm life before I went on to college proper. And my roommate, who actually I did wind up going to college with later, a few years later, he brought a CD alarm clock, and we listened to his recordings of Bill Engvall. Now, Bill Engvall has a very kind of special place in my heart. After laughing hysterically each night to his antics and handing signs to people he thought were stupid, we were going home from annual conference with my parents, and we stopped by a Goodwill there in Ames, and they had one of his CDs for sale at the Goodwill. So I bought it, and my parents and I, for the entire drive back to Kingsley, were just roaring with laughter listening to Bill Engvall. And of course, as months went on, I found more and more of his CDs. It became kind of the things we listened to on family trips. I'd listen to Bill Engvall CDs during band trips. My best friend in high school We bought a headphone splitter just so that we could listen together on our little portable CD players. Listen together for all of Bill Engvall's antics, and it has a lot of memories and good times. And unfortunately, the poor man, he deserves it. He is retiring here very soon. I think he has one more tour, and he says that's it. But one of the things I always liked, he had a Christmas album. Now, the Christmas album is actually it's mostly music, which isn't terrible, but I did not go to Bill Engvall for music. But the thing I liked was there's a line where he talks about the candlelight service on Christmas Eve. And the comment he makes is that when everyone is there holding candles, the lights are down, the only light you see are of the candles illuminating people's faces, and everyone's singing Silent Night, there is no hate. There is no anger. There's just peace, love, joy, harmony. There's just all those good things of Christmas. And he makes the comment, if we could find a way to carry that past the candlelight service, if we could hold that within us, even once the candle's been blown out, oh, how much better the world would be. And you know what? He's right. Silent Night is an interesting carol because when you think of all that happened on that day, the idea of Silent Night doesn't quite seem appropriate. You have Mary giving birth to a child. Now, fortunately, childbirth is not something I will ever have to experience. But I am told it is not something that is calming and quieting. Yesterday we talked about whether or not the baby Jesus cried. I'm sure he cried. And to say nothing about that, then you have a short ways away shepherds in the fields. And then there's this great chorus of angels proclaiming praise to God, saying, "Go to Bethlehem, for born to you is this Savior." And all the shepherds going, we got to get over there and see what's going on. So the idea of a silent night, all is calm, all is bright, doesn't quite fit with what I think the actual night probably felt like to be there. But I'm sure after all the hustle and bustle, after all of the chaos, I'm sure there was at least one moment. You know, maybe baby Jesus has fallen asleep. He's in the manger. Mary's looking over him. Joseph is there comforting Mary. And the shepherds are reverently observing the moment. And just for that one brief instant, all is calm. All is bright. You know, the Christmas season is really, really busy for everybody. Not just for, ministers, but for everyone. You got to get your Christmas plans organized. When are you meeting with which family member? How are you getting your traveling plan arranged? Got to get the time off from work that you need. Oh, I can't get this time off work. We got to reschedule. Oh, I got to get the gifts. Oh, there's a transportation shortage. The gifts aren't here yet. Well, then I'll... one year that happened to me. The gifts hadn't arrived, so I just printed off the Amazon listings and put them in the cards and said, when they get here, you're getting these. But... you're trying to get all these things taken care of. And plus, on top of it all, it's the end of the year. So there's a lot of things that go on with that. And it's just blah! But then there's that moment at the Christmas Eve service when everyone pauses, holds their candle and sings Silent Night. All of the chaos, all of that is still going on out there. It didn't go away. It's still there. But it's still, at that moment, your focus isn't on the chaos. It's on the light in front of you. It's on your church family there, worshiping the birth of Christ together. All the chaos, everything, through all of that, the light of Christ can cut through it. But again, like I said, the chaos is still going to be there. The important thing is to keep the light of Christ within you, so you can still cut through the chaos. So you can still have just that moment of peace, that moment of holiness. And so now, I invite you to take a moment of silent reflection, and then we'll start singing Silent Night. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth, Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Silent night, holy night, wondrous star, let angels, let us sing.